In the vast expanse of the galaxy, filled with countless wonders and terrors, a seemingly simple sound has risen to become the most dreaded of all, the snap of fingers. This innocuous act, involving the placement of two digits together followed by the application of pressure until one slides down and impacts the base of the other with a sharp, resonant noise, has come to symbolize doom and destruction across numerous star systems. The majority of races within the galactic community lack the anatomical structure necessary to produce such a sound. Their digits either lack the flexibility to move in such a manner or they do not possess the flesh required to create the distinctive snapping noise. This limitation adds a layer of mystery and fear surrounding the snap, as only a select few species are capable of producing it. Among these are the mock, the raven, the quittle, the fresque, and the humans. Each of these species brings its unique characteristics to the galactic stage, but it is the involvement of the latter two, the fresque and the humans, that has infused this sound with such terror. Both species, having evolved from primate-like ancestors, share a physical build that includes the ability to snap their fingers, a trait that has become particularly significant due to their tumultuous history. The snap's horrifying reputation is not merely due to its sound but rather what it represents, the dark past and brutal conflicts that have marred interspecies relations, especially following a series of devastating events led by the humans, which forever changed the political landscape of the galaxy. The act of snapping fingers, while seemingly mundane to some, has been transformed into a symbol of ultimate power and retribution. The origin of this fear dates back to the early days of human contact with the galactic community. Initially, humans were perceived as a non-threatening, technologically primitive species. Their demeanor was peaceful, and they entered the Galactic Council with open arms, hoping to learn and contribute. This perception quickly changed when they intervened to save the Crunch, an insectoid race plagued by a devastating disease. The humans, with their medical expertise and rapid scientific advancements, managed to create a cure that saved billions of Crunch lives. This act of compassion, however, did not sit well with the Fresque, who had been waiting for the Crunch to perish so they could claim their territory. The ensuing conflict between the Fresque and the humans escalated into a series of brutal attacks. The Fresque, a fierce and aggressive species, repeatedly attacked human colonies and fleets, each time denying responsibility with insincere apologies. The Galactic Council, observing these events, remained silent, unwilling to intervene. This silence was perceived by humans as complicity, and it marked a turning point in their relationship with the rest of the galaxy. For nearly 2 years, humans faced relentless assaults, forcing them to retreat to their home system. It was during this period of withdrawal that humans began to develop and perfect their stealth technology. They vanished from the galactic scene, leading many to believe they were defeated and on the verge of extinction. However, this was far from the truth. Humans were not retreating, they were regrouping and preparing for a counterattack that would shake the foundations of the galactic community. 30 years later, the humans re-emerged with a vengeance. They had developed advanced cloaking technology, allowing them to infiltrate and observe without detection. This period of silence culminated in a dramatic return, marked by a single snap that echoed throughout the Great Hall of Omaya, the capital of the Galactic Council. This snap was the harbinger of destruction, as Admiral Baelish, a human military leader, demonstrated the power they had harnessed. By snapping his fingers, he could trigger supernova explosions, annihilating entire star systems. The Fresque, who had once mocked and attacked humans, found themselves at the mercy of this newfound power. The snap, once a simple sound, had been transformed into a symbol of ultimate power and terror. It represented the culmination of human resilience and ingenuity, a testament to their ability to turn the tides of fate in their favor. The galactic community, which had once looked down upon humans, now trembled at the mere thought of a finger snap. This sound, woven into the fabric of galactic history, serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of underestimating the resolve and capabilities of a species driven to the brink. In summary, The introduction of the snap as the most terrifying sound in the galaxy encapsulates the rise of humans from perceived weakness to unparalleled strength. It highlights the intricate dynamics of power, fear, and survival in a galaxy where even the smallest actions can have monumental repercussions. The snap is more than just a noise, it is a legacy of conflict, innovation, and the unyielding spirit of a species that refused to be extinguished. In the sprawling expanse of the galaxy, where diverse species and civilizations thrive, the physical and cultural differences among them often define their interactions and relationships. Two such species, the humans and the Fresk, stand out not only for their unique physical characteristics but also for their shared tumultuous history. These two species, while seemingly similar in their evolutionary origins as primates, exhibit stark differences in their physical appearances and societal structures. Humans, originating from the planet Earth in the Sol system, are a bipedal species standing between 4 to 6 feet tall, with some individuals exceeding this range. Their bodies are covered by a thin layer of skin, varying in color from pale to dark brown, often dotted with patches of hair. This hair can grow long in some areas, such as the scalp, while remaining short and fine on other parts of their bodies. Each human hand ends in 5 digits, allowing for dexterity and complex manipulation of objects. The human head, perched atop a flexible neck, houses their brain and sensory organs, including eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. This arrangement enables them to process a vast array of sensory information, aiding their survival and adaptation in various environments. Humans are known for their resilience and adaptability, traits that have allowed them to survive and thrive in diverse and often harsh conditions. Their physical build, while not the most robust in the galaxy, is complemented by their intelligence and ingenuity. Humans have developed technologies and strategies that compensate for their physical limitations, allowing them to compete with and, in some cases, surpass more physically formidable species. In contrast, the Fresk originating from a distant star system, present a more imposing figure. Standing between 6 to 10 feet tall, the Fresk are also bipedal but possess 4 arms, giving them a distinct advantage in physical tasks and combat. Their bodies are covered in thick fur, providing insulation and protection. This fur varies in color, often reflecting the environment of their home planet, ranging from deep browns to lighter hues. Unlike humans, the Fresk's fur covers their entire bodies, except for their hands, feet, and certain sensory organs, enhancing their survivability in colder climates. The Fresk's heads are much broader than those of humans, with eyes positioned lower and closer to the sides of their wide mouths. This facial structure gives them a wider field of vision, crucial for both hunting and combat. Their eyes are adapted to see in low light conditions, a trait that has proved advantageous in their home planet's dimly lit environments. The Fresk are known for their brute strength and aggressive nature, traits that have made them one of the most feared species in the galaxy. Despite their physical prowess, the Fresk have not heavily invested in technological advancement. Their society values strength and combat skills over scientific and technological achievements, leading them to rely on raw power in their interactions with other species. This aggressive stance has often put them at odds with more technologically inclined species, such as humans. The evolutionary paths of these two species have shaped not only their physical forms but also their cultural and societal structures. Humans, with their emphasis on technology and innovation, have built a society that values knowledge and adaptability. They have established diplomatic relations with various species, often using their technological prowess to aid others, as seen in their intervention to save the Crunch from a devastating plague. On the other hand, the Fresk have built a society centered around strength and conquest. Their aggressive nature and physical capabilities have led them to dominate and subjugate weaker species, expanding their territory through force. This approach has earned them a reputation as a formidable and ruthless species, feared and respected across the galaxy. The interactions between humans and the Fresk highlight the complex dynamics of interspecies relationships in the galaxy. Initially perceived as weak and non-threatening, humans quickly demonstrated their resilience and ingenuity, earning the respect and fear of their galactic counterparts. The Fresk, accustomed to using brute force to achieve their goals, found themselves challenged by humans' technological advancements and strategic thinking. This dichotomy between the physical and cultural attributes of humans and the Fresk underscores the diversity of life in the galaxy. It also illustrates how different evolutionary paths can lead to varied approaches to survival and dominance. The humans' reliance on technology and diplomacy contrasts sharply with the Fresk's emphasis on physical strength and aggression, creating a dynamic interplay that has shaped the history and politics of the galactic community. In summary, the physical descriptions and societal contrasts of humans and the Fresk provide a vivid backdrop to their interactions and conflicts. These differences have influenced their respective roles within the galaxy, driving the events that have made the sound of a snapping finger one of the most terrifying and symbolic actions in interstellar history. When humans first made their entrance onto the galactic stage, they were met with a mixture of curiosity and condescension from the established races of the galactic community. The humans' technology, by interstellar standards, was primitive, consisting of basic spacecraft and rudimentary weapons. Their demeanor, marked by a preference for diplomacy and peaceful engagement, further reinforced the perception of their weakness. They joined the Galactic Council with open arms, eager to learn from their more advanced counterparts and to contribute to the collective knowledge and prosperity of the galaxy. However, this peaceful approach was met with skepticism and derision. The Galactic Council, a conglomerate of various species with their own histories of conflict and cooperation, viewed the humans as an anomaly. Most species had achieved their place in the Council through displays of strength, technological prowess, or cunning diplomacy. In contrast, humans seemed naive, almost idealistic, with their talk of cooperation and mutual aid. Their entry into the Council was seen as a novelty, a breath of fresh air that many believed would be short-lived. There was a prevailing belief that the humans' pacifist approach would lead to their quick demise in a galaxy often ruled by might and aggression. The Fresk, in particular, saw the humans as easy targets. With their 4 arms and formidable physical strength, the Fresk had carved out a reputation as one of the most aggressive and expansionist species in the galaxy. They had little patience for what they considered the weak and inferior. The Fresk were known for their brutal conquests and had little interest in diplomacy unless it served their interests of territorial expansion. To them, the humans' arrival was an opportunity to be exploited, another species to be subjugated or eradicated if they dared to stand in the way. Initially, the humans' attempts at diplomacy were met with patronizing smiles and thinly veiled contempt. Their representatives, dressed in simple uniforms that lacked the ornate decorations of other species' diplomats, were often the subject of ridicule. In council meetings, human proposals for cooperative ventures and mutual assistance were frequently dismissed or outright ignored. The more aggressive species, including the Fresk, saw no need to entertain the ideas of a race they deemed insignificant. Despite these challenges, the humans remained steadfast in their approach. They continued to offer aid and support to those in need, quietly building alliances and friendships with less aggressive species. Their medical teams and scientists were particularly noted for their willingness to travel great distances to assist in humanitarian crises. This commitment to service gradually began to earn them a measure of respect from some corners of the Council, although the dominant powers continued to view them as inconsequential. The tipping point came when the humans intervened to help the Crunch, an insectoid race suffering from a catastrophic plague. The Crunch were on the brink of extinction, with billions dying weekly and entire worlds being decimated by the relentless disease. The humans, with their advanced medical knowledge and a deep-seated drive to help those in need, sent a fleet of medical ships and scientific experts to aid the Crunch. In a remarkably short time, they developed a cure, saving countless lives and stabilizing the affected planets. This act of compassion and technological prowess caught the attention of the entire galactic community. It was a defining moment that showcased the humans' potential not just as peaceful diplomats but as formidable allies capable of significant contributions to galactic well-being. However, this also drew the ire of the Fresk, who had been biding their time to claim Crunch territories once the plague had wiped them out. The humans' intervention thwarted these plans, igniting a simmering resentment that would soon boil over into open conflict. The Fresk, unaccustomed to having their ambitions challenged by what they still considered a lesser race, launched a series of brutal attacks on human settlements and their medical fleet. These unprovoked assaults were initially met with disbelief and horror by the humans, who had hoped their acts of kindness would foster goodwill. Instead, they found themselves embroiled in a conflict they were ill-prepared for, facing an enemy that respected only strength and dominance. The repeated Fresk attacks, coupled with the Galactic Council's inaction, forced the humans to reconsider their position. The Council's refusal to intervene or condemn the Fresk's aggression was a stark reminder of the harsh realities of interstellar politics. It became clear that the humans could no longer rely solely on diplomacy and peaceful intentions to secure their place in the galaxy. They needed to demonstrate their strength and resilience, to show that they were not to be underestimated or dismissed. This period of initial perception and subsequent disillusionment was a critical phase in human history. It underscored the naivety with which they had entered the galactic community and highlighted the brutal lessons they needed to learn to survive. The humans' transition from being viewed as weak and inconsequential to becoming a significant power was marked by their ability to adapt and respond to these challenges. It was a testament to their resilience and ingenuity, traits that would later define their interactions and establish their reputation across the galaxy. In summary, the initial perception of humans as weak and technologically primitive set the stage for their transformative journey in the galactic community. Their early experiences of ridicule and underestimation, coupled with their unwavering commitment to peaceful engagement and humanitarian efforts, laid the groundwork for their eventual rise to prominence. The human story is one of overcoming prejudice and adversity, leveraging their unique strengths to carve out a respected and formidable presence in a galaxy that had once dismissed them as mere pushovers. The turning point in the perception of humans within the galactic community was their pivotal role in saving the Crunch, an insectoid race facing near extinction due to a devastating plague. The Crunch, known for their intricate hive society and remarkable resilience, had always been a respected species within the Galactic Council. However, this respect did little to mitigate the horror of the plague that swept through their worlds, causing billions of deaths weekly. Entire colonies were decimated as the disease spread unchecked, with each passing day bringing the Crunch closer to annihilation. The plague was a catastrophe on unprecedented scale, one that the Crunch themselves were powerless to halt. In their darkest hour, the Crunch's desperate pleas for help resonated throughout the galaxy. Despite the severity of the crisis, many species were either unwilling or unable to provide the necessary aid. The Fresk, in particular, saw this as an opportunity to expand their territory. They waited in the shadows, anticipating the inevitable collapse of Crunch society, ready to swoop in and claim the plague-ravaged worlds for their own. Their impatience and ruthlessness were well known, and the impending extinction of the Crunch seemed, to them, a mere stepping stone to greater power. Enter the humans, who, despite their initial reception as a technologically inferior and peaceful race, demonstrated an extraordinary capacity for empathy and action. Moved by the plight of the Crunch, the humans mobilized a fleet of medical ships and dispatched their best scientists and doctors to the afflicted worlds. This response was not merely a gesture of goodwill but a monumental effort requiring significant resources and coordination. The human mission was driven by a deep-seated belief in the value of all life, a principle that transcended their earlier experiences of scorn and ridicule from other galactic species. Upon arrival in Crunch space, the human medical teams encountered scenes of unimaginable devastation. Entire hives lay in ruins, the once bustling colonies now eerily silent except for the suffering cries of the dying. The humans worked tirelessly, setting up field hospitals and research laboratories amidst the chaos. Their advanced medical technology, though often underestimated, proved to be a critical asset in the fight against the plague. Human doctors and scientists collaborated closely with crunch biologists, combining their knowledge to understand the nature of the disease and develop a cure. The process was fraught with challenges. The plague was highly virulent and adaptive, resisting initial treatments and spreading with alarming speed. Yet, the human teams remained undeterred. They conducted round-the-clock research, often working in hazardous conditions, to isolate the pathogen and find an effective countermeasure. Their perseverance paid off when they identified a breakthrough in the form of a novel antiviral compound. This discovery marked a turning point in the battle against the plague, offering a glimmer of hope to the beleaguered crunch. Administering the cure across multiple worlds was a Herculean task. The human medical teams faced logistical nightmares, from transporting the antiviral agent to remote colonies to ensuring its safe and effective distribution. They also had to contend with ongoing outbreaks and the threat of secondary infections. Despite these obstacles, the human effort was relentless. They devised innovative delivery methods, including aerial dispersal systems and automated inoculation units, to expedite the treatment process. The sight of human and crunch working side by side, united by a common goal, became a powerful symbol of interspecies cooperation. The success of the human mission was nothing short of miraculous. The plague, once a seemingly unstoppable force, began to recede as the cure took effect. Mortality rates plummeted, and the afflicted colonies slowly started to recover. The once despairing crunch saw a future once again, thanks to the tireless efforts of their human saviors. Billions of lives were saved, and entire worlds were reclaimed from the brink of destruction. This unprecedented act of compassion and scientific ingenuity resonated throughout the galaxy, fundamentally altering the perception of humans. However, this monumental achievement did not sit well with the Fresk. Their meticulously planned annexation of Crunch territory had been thwarted by the humans' unexpected intervention. The Fresk, known for their impatience and aggression, viewed the survival of the Crunch as a direct threat to their expansionist ambitions. The humans, once dismissed as weak and inconsequential, had now positioned themselves as formidable players in the galactic arena, capable of influencing major events and outcomes. The Fresk response was swift and brutal. They launched an unprovoked attack on the human medical fleet, obliterating the ships and killing countless medical personnel. This act of aggression was a stark reminder of the harsh realities of galactic politics, where strength often dictated survival. The destruction of the medical fleet was not merely a strategic move but a declaration of war, one that the humans were ill-prepared for given their recent focus on humanitarian efforts. The initial human reaction was one of disbelief and outrage. The Fresk's audacity in attacking a peaceful mission, especially one that had just saved billions of lives, was beyond comprehension. The human representative to the Galactic Council publicly condemned the Fresk, accusing them of murder and war crimes. The Fresk, in turn, denied any involvement, despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. This pattern of denial followed by further aggression continued, with the Fresk launching repeated assaults on human colonies and fleets. The Galactic Council, for its part, remained frustratingly passive. Many council members were either intimidated by the Fresk or indifferent to the plight of the humans. This lack of intervention underscored a painful truth for the humans: their humanitarian efforts, while noble, did not guarantee protection or justice. The Council's inaction was seen as tacit approval of the Fresk's actions, further emboldening the aggressors. For the humans, this period marked a harsh awakening. They realized that their place in the galaxy could not be secured through compassion alone. The brutal reality of interstellar relations required not just benevolence but also strength and resilience. The attacks forced the humans to regroup and reconsider their strategies. They began to withdraw from their outer colonies, consolidating their forces and resources in preparation for a more sustained defense. This strategic retreat was not a sign of defeat but a calculated move to buy time. During this period, humans focused on advancing their technology, particularly in the fields of stealth and defense. The knowledge gained from their interactions with other species and the data collected during their humanitarian missions proved invaluable. Human scientists worked tirelessly to develop new technologies that would enable them to protect their people and deter further aggression. The aid to the Crunch was a defining moment that showcased the best of human qualities: empathy, ingenuity, and resilience. It was an act that earned them the respect and gratitude of many but also exposed them to the harsh realities of galactic politics. The humans' ability to adapt and respond to these challenges would eventually transform them from perceived underdogs into a formidable force within the galactic community. This chapter of their history is a testament to their unwavering commitment to doing what is right, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. The atmosphere within the galactic community grew increasingly tense as the Fresk's aggression towards humans escalated. The initial attack on the human medical fleet, which had been deployed to save the Crunch from extinction, marked the beginning of a series of ruthless assaults. The Fresk, notorious for their impatience and territorial ambitions, viewed the survival of the Crunch and the humans' intervention as direct threats to their expansionist goals. They were determined to eliminate this newfound obstacle, and their response was swift and unrelenting. The destruction of the human medical fleet was not just a tactical maneuver, it was a clear declaration of war. The Fresk targeted the fleet with precision and brutality, obliterating ships and killing countless medical personnel who had only sought to bring aid and healing to the afflicted Crunch worlds. This act of unprovoked violence sent shockwaves throughout the galactic community, but the Fresk remained defiant, refusing to take responsibility even as evidence mounted against them. Enraged by the attack, the human representative to the Galactic Council formally accused the Fresk of murder and war crimes. The accusations were met with blatant denials from the Fresk, who insisted they had no part in the assault. The council sessions turned into heated debates, with the humans presenting irrefutable evidence of Fresk involvement. Yet, each time, the Fresk simply issued insincere apologies and empty promises that such attacks would not happen again. The cycle of aggression and denial continued, with the Fresk launching subsequent assaults on human colonies and outposts. The Fresk's strategy was one of relentless harassment. They targeted human settlements, destroying infrastructure, killing civilians, and causing widespread chaos. These attacks were designed to demoralize the humans, to make them feel isolated and vulnerable. Fresk warships, with their superior firepower and advanced cloaking technology, struck without warning, leaving destruction in their wake. The humans, still reeling from the initial shock, struggled to mount an effective defense against such a formidable foe. The Galactic Council's inaction only exacerbated the situation. Many council members were either intimidated by the Fresk's military might or indifferent to the plight of the humans. The Fresk's aggressive tactics had long instilled fear among other species, ensuring a lack of opposition to their actions. The council's refusal to intervene or even formally censure the Fresk left the humans feeling abandoned and betrayed. It became clear that in this galaxy, survival often hinged on one's ability to defend oneself, rather than relying on the goodwill of others. Despite the mounting challenges, the humans did not capitulate. Instead, they began a strategic withdrawal from their outer colonies, consolidating their forces in more defensible positions within their home system. This retreat was not a sign of defeat but a tactical maneuver to buy time and resources. The humans focused on strengthening their defenses, developing new technologies, and training their military forces to better respond to Fresk aggression. Human scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to enhance their stealth and defensive capabilities. They studied Fresk technology, seeking weaknesses and developing countermeasures. This period of intense research and development led to significant advancements in human military technology. New cloaking devices, more powerful weapons, and improved shield systems were created, turning the once vulnerable humans into a more formidable adversary. The human leadership also recognized the need for a unified response to the Fresk threat. They strengthened alliances with other species who had suffered under Fresk aggression, building a coalition of the willing. These alliances, though tentative and fraught with their own challenges, provided a broader base of support and resources. The humans shared their technological advancements with their allies, fostering a spirit of cooperation and mutual defense that had been lacking in their initial foray into the galactic community. The Fresk, meanwhile, continued their campaign of terror with increasing brutality. Their impatience for conquest and disdain for the humans only grew as they encountered stiffer resistance. Each human victory, no matter how small, was met with a disproportionate Fresk response. They deployed larger fleets, more advanced weapons, and employed increasingly ruthless tactics. Civilian targets were not spared, as the Fresk sought to break human morale through fear and devastation. The psychological toll on the human population was immense. Stories of Fresk atrocities spread, fueling anger and a deep-seated desire for retribution among the survivors. The human government, faced with the need to sustain morale and resolve, began to frame the conflict not merely as a struggle for survival but as a righteous fight against tyranny and oppression. Propaganda efforts highlighted the heroism of human defenders, the resilience of their people, and the cruelty of the Fresk invaders. This framing had the desired effect. The human populace, galvanized by a sense of shared purpose and righteous indignation, rallied behind their leaders. Recruitment for the military surged, and efforts on the home front intensified. Every sector of society was mobilized for the war effort, from scientists and engineers to farmers and factory workers. The human spirit, once seen as a liability in the ruthless calculus of galactic politics, became their greatest asset. The conflict with the Fresk also led to significant cultural shifts within human society. The values of resilience, innovation, and solidarity were reinforced and celebrated. The horrors of war fostered a sense of unity and collective identity that transcended previous divisions. This newfound unity was crucial in sustaining the prolonged and grueling struggle against the Fresk. As the war dragged on, it became clear that the Fresk's initial underestimation of the humans had been a grave mistake. The humans' capacity for adaptation, their technological ingenuity, and their unyielding spirit began to turn the tide of the conflict. Each Fresk attack was met with increasingly effective human countermeasures, and the once one-sided aggression began to resemble a more evenly matched struggle. The turning point in the war came not on the battlefield but in the shadows. Human intelligence operatives, utilizing their advanced cloaking technology, infiltrated Fresk command structures. They gathered crucial intelligence, sabotaged key installations, and sowed discord within the Fresk ranks. These covert operations, combined with the humans' growing military prowess, began to erode the Fresk's strategic advantage. The Fresk, accustomed to quick and decisive victories, found themselves bogged down in a war of attrition. Their impatience and overconfidence turned into frustration and desperation. As their losses mounted and their territorial ambitions were thwarted, the Fresk leadership faced growing dissent and instability within their own ranks. The Fresk aggression, which had once seemed like an unstoppable force, was now being met with determined and calculated resistance. The humans, through sheer resilience and ingenuity, had transformed themselves from a perceived weak and peaceful race into a formidable power capable of challenging one of the galaxy's most feared species. In summary, the period of Fresk aggression against humans was a defining chapter in the history of both species. It highlighted the brutal realities of interstellar politics and warfare, while also showcasing the remarkable capacity of humans to adapt and overcome. The humans' response to Fresk aggression, marked by strategic withdrawals, technological advancements, and a unifying sense of purpose, ultimately turned the tide of the conflict and reshaped the power dynamics within the galactic community. This chapter serves as a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of humanity in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. The relentless assaults by the Fresk had pushed humanity to the brink, forcing them into a corner from which they could either emerge stronger or face annihilation. For nearly 2 years, humans endured unprovoked attacks that decimated their outer colonies and shattered their initial hopes of peaceful coexistence within the galactic community. Faced with the brutal reality of Fresk aggression and the apathy of the Galactic Council, humanity underwent a profound transformation. They realized that survival in this unforgiving galaxy demanded more than just technological prowess and humanitarian ideals, it required a formidable display of strength and resilience. The strategic retreat of human forces to their home system, the Sol system, marked the beginning of a new phase in their approach to galactic politics and warfare. This retreat was not an act of surrender but a calculated maneuver designed to regroup, fortify, and prepare for a decisive counteroffensive. The humans recognized that their best chance of survival lay in leveraging their home turf, where they could consolidate their resources and harness the full potential of their scientific and technological capabilities. In the aftermath of their withdrawal, humans entered a period of intense innovation and military build-up. Scientists, engineers, and military strategists worked around the clock to develop advanced technologies that would give them an edge over the Fresk. This period of seclusion and focused effort saw the rapid advancement of human cloaking technology, allowing them to achieve unprecedented levels of stealth and subterfuge. They perfected the art of infiltration, enabling human operatives to gather critical intelligence on Fresk movements and strategies without detection. The silence from the Sol system was interpreted by many in the galactic community as a sign of human defeat and demoralization. The Fresk, in particular, believed that they had successfully broken the human spirit, assuming that the once hopeful race had retreated to lick their wounds and await their inevitable demise. However, this interpretation could not have been further from the truth. Within the boundaries of their solar system, humans were not merely surviving, they were evolving. The culmination of this period of intense preparation was marked by a dramatic re-entry into galactic affairs. 30 years after their initial retreat, humans re-emerged with a vengeance. Their first move was a masterstroke of psychological warfare and technological demonstration. A mysterious message was sent to every member of the Galactic Council, summoning them to a meeting at the Great Halls of Omaya, the Council's capital. The sender of the message was unknown, but the commanding tone and the implications of the summons ensured that every representative attended. As the Council members gathered, the atmosphere was thick with anticipation and unease. The Fresk, confident in their previous victories, were present in full force, ready to assert their dominance. The meeting commenced with calls for the individual, who had summoned the council to step forward. From the center of the Great Hall, a tall, imposing human figure appeared, seemingly out of thin air, thanks to advanced cloaking technology. This figure, clad in an unfamiliar yet distinctly military uniform, was Admiral Austin Baelish, a name that would soon become legendary. Admiral Baelish's presence alone was enough to cause a stir, but what followed would leave an indelible mark on galactic history. With a simple snap of his fingers, Baelish demonstrated humanity's new technological prowess by causing the lights in the Great Hall to dim and the air above the central platform to shimmer. A massive artificial moon, previously cloaked, revealed itself between the planet and its star, casting a shadow over the hall. This display of advanced cloaking technology on such a grand scale was unprecedented, and immediately captured the undivided attention of the council. The Fresk, initially bemused, quickly shifted to derision and mockery. They saw the human display as an empty gesture, a final act of defiance from a defeated race. However, their laughter and taunts were abruptly silenced when Admiral Baelish revealed the true extent of humanity's technological advancements. Behind the council leaders, a wall of monitors flickered to life, each displaying a different solar system, all belonging to the fresque. With another snap of his fingers, Baelish initiated a sequence that would forever alter the balance of power in the galaxy. On the monitors, stars began to go supernova, obliterating entire systems in real time. The destruction was absolute, leaving no room for doubt or denial. The fresque, once the aggressors, now found themselves on the receiving end of an unimaginable weapon. The ability to trigger supernovae at will was beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen, and it showcased the extent of human ingenuity and the lengths they had gone to ensure their survival and exact their revenge. The shock and horror that swept through the Great Hall were palpable. Representatives from various species, who had either ignored or underestimated humans, now watched in stunned silence as entire fresque systems were wiped out. The fresque representatives, who had come with the intent to assert dominance, were reduced to impotent rage and desperation. Admiral Baelish, maintaining his composure, addressed the council with a tone that left no room for negotiation. He demanded that the council hold the fresque accountable for their actions and implement policies to prevent further aggression. The council, faced with the undeniable display of human power, had no choice but to comply. The fresque, who had once been the dominant aggressors, were now subjected to the same terror they had inflicted on others. The humans, through their calculated and devastating retaliation, had turned the tables, transforming themselves from perceived victims to indisputable powers in the galactic community. This period of human retaliation was not just about vengeance, it was a demonstration of their resolve and capability to defend themselves and their allies. It underscored the lesson that humanity had learned through hardship. In a galaxy where might often makes right, the ability to defend oneself and deter aggression is paramount. The humans' re-entry into galactic politics, marked by their technological and strategic superiority, signaled a new era in which they would no longer be underestimated or ignored. In summary, the period of human retaliation against the fresque was a defining moment that showcased humanity's remarkable capacity for adaptation and resilience. From the depths of despair and near annihilation, they emerged stronger, more united, and technologically advanced. Their ability to turn the tide of conflict through strategic withdrawal, innovation, and decisive action not only secured their survival but also reshaped the power dynamics within the galactic community. This chapter in human history is a testament to their unyielding spirit and their determination to forge a place of respect and influence in a hostile galaxy. The day the humans summoned the Galactic Council to the Great Halls of Omaya marked a significant turning point in the annals of interstellar history. The message that went out was terse, authoritative, and left no room for doubt about its importance. Representatives from every corner of the galaxy, including the most powerful and influential races, gathered in the Council's grand capital. The atmosphere was thick with curiosity, unease, and a hint of anticipation. Most Council members, particularly those from the fresque, expected a desperate plea from a defeated race. Little did they know, they were about to witness a demonstration of unprecedented power and resolve. The Great Hall itself was an architectural marvel, a vast dome of transparent material that allowed the light of the central star, Umai, to illuminate the chamber. The hall was filled with the murmurs of various species, their languages and dialects blending into a cacophony of sound. At the center of the hall was a large, elevated platform reserved for significant addresses, currently empty and waiting for the mysterious summoner to appear. As the meeting commenced, the council leaders called for the individual who had summoned them to step forward. There was a moment of silence before a loud, commanding voice echoed through the hall, "We call the meeting." This announcement was followed by a dramatic reveal as the air above the central platform shimmered and glowed, unveiling a tall, well-built human male. He wore a military uniform of deep blue adorned with ribbons and a name tag, with 4 gold stars on the collar indicating his high rank. This was Admiral Austin Baelish, a figure unknown to many but soon to be etched into the memory of every attendee. The initial shock of seeing a human, especially one in military dress, quickly gave way to laughter and mockery from the Fresk and other dismissive races. Taunts and jeers filled the hall, with some mocking the humans' presumed play at military might and others criticizing their audacity to stand in the sacred halls of the council. The laughter, however, was abruptly silenced by a single, sharp snap of Admiral Baelish's fingers. In an instant, the lights in the great hall dimmed, and the transparent roof darkened as a colossal artificial moon, previously cloaked, revealed itself between the planet and its star. This technological feat left the assembly in stunned silence. Cloaking technology at this scale was beyond the capabilities of even the most advanced races, and its sudden appearance was a clear message of the humans' newfound prowess. As the representatives regained their composure, Admiral Baelish continued his demonstration. With another snap of his fingers, a wall of monitors behind the council leaders flickered to life, each displaying a different solar system. The names of these systems were displayed beneath them, and it quickly became apparent that all of them belonged to the Fresk. The council, now fully attentive, watched in horrified fascination as Baelish explained the significance of what they were seeing. The tension in the hall was palpable as Baelish narrated the sequence of events that led to this moment. He spoke of the humans' initial entry into the galactic community, their naive hopes for peaceful coexistence, and the brutal reality of Fresk aggression that shattered those hopes. He detailed the unprovoked attacks on human colonies, the destruction of their medical fleet, and the countless lives lost to Fresk violence. The human story was one of resilience and transformation, a journey from perceived weakness to formidable strength. With another snap of his fingers, Baelish triggered the first of several supernovae. The monitors showed a star in a Fresk system going supernova, its shockwave obliterating planets and turning the entire system into a wasteland. The destruction was absolute and irreversible, a stark demonstration of the humans' new capabilities. The hall fell into a stunned silence, broken only by the gasps and murmurs of disbelief from the assembled representatives. The Fresk representatives, who had arrived expecting to assert their dominance, were now confronted with the terrifying reality of their own vulnerability. Their attempts to dismiss the destruction as mere trickery were quickly silenced by a barrage of notifications confirming the annihilation of their systems. Panic and outrage gripped the Fresk delegation, but Admiral Baelish remained composed and resolute. He turned his attention to the council as a whole, demanding accountability and justice for the Fresk's actions. His voice, calm yet commanding, carried the weight of his people's suffering and their unyielding determination to never again be seen as weak. The council, faced with the undeniable display of human power, had little choice but to listen. The balance of power had shifted dramatically, and the humans, once seen as inconsequential, were now dictating terms. The Fresk, their confidence shattered, attempted to rally support from other council members. However, the sheer magnitude of the destruction they had witnessed left little room for dissent. The other representatives, many of whom had previously dismissed the humans, now saw the consequences of underestimating them. The council was forced to recognize that the humans had not only survived, but had also evolved into a significant power capable of reshaping the galaxy's political landscape. Throughout the meeting, Admiral Baelish maintained his stance, emphasizing the necessity for new policies to prevent further aggression, and ensure the safety of all species within the galactic community. His demands were not just for retribution but for a future where no race would have to endure what the humans had suffered. His vision was one of a balanced and just galaxy, where strength was tempered by responsibility and mutual respect. The Great Hall meeting concluded with a series of unprecedented decisions. The Council agreed to hold the Fresk accountable, imposing sanctions and demanding reparations for their war crimes. New policies were established to promote transparency and cooperation, aiming to prevent such conflicts in the future. The humans, through their demonstration of power and their unwavering resolve, had achieved not only justice for themselves but also set a new precedent for the entire galactic community. In the aftermath of the meeting, the humans emerged as a respected and influential force. Their technological advancements, coupled with their strategic acumen, had transformed them from a perceived underdog to a dominant player in galactic affairs. The sound of a snapping finger, once a simple gesture, had become a symbol of their journey and their indomitable spirit. The Great Hall meeting was a testament to humanity's resilience and their capacity to not only survive but to thrive and shape the future of the galaxy. In summary, the Great Hall meeting was a dramatic and pivotal event that showcased humanity's remarkable transformation and their ability to command respect and influence within the galactic community. Admiral Baelish's demonstration of power, coupled with his demands for justice and accountability, underscored the humans' journey from victims of aggression to architects of a new galactic order. This chapter in their history is a testament to their ingenuity, resilience, and the indomitable spirit that propelled them to the forefront of interstellar politics. The atmosphere in the Great Hall had shifted from skepticism to terror as Admiral Austin Baelish demonstrated the humans' newfound power. The air was thick with the tension of 1,000 unspoken fears as the Council representatives, who had once mocked and dismissed humanity, now sat in stunned silence. The sight of entire fresque star systems being obliterated on the monitors left no room for doubt. The humans possessed a technology that could rewrite the balance of power in the galaxy. With this undeniable demonstration of their capability, the humans had moved from the periphery of galactic politics to its very center, demanding not just attention but respect and accountability. Admiral Baelish, standing tall and resolute on the central platform, knew that this moment was pivotal. His gaze swept across the room, taking in the faces of representatives from countless species, some wide-eyed with fear, others furrowed with grim acceptance. The Fresque, who had come prepared to reinforce their dominance, now faced the harsh reality of their vulnerability. Baelish's calm demeanor contrasted sharply with the panic and outrage evident in the Fresque delegation. Their once arrogant confidence had crumbled in the face of human retribution. With a measured tone, Baelish began to articulate the humans' demands. His voice, amplified by the hall's acoustics, carried a weight that silenced any murmurs. "We demand that the Council hold the Fresque accountable for their actions," he declared. "For their unprovoked attacks on our colonies, for the murder of our citizens, and for the countless war crimes they have committed." His words were precise and unyielding, each syllable resonating with the collective pain and determination of humanity. The Fresque representatives attempted to interject, but Baelish's raised hand and another snap of his fingers silenced them. This time, the monitors displayed real-time feeds from Fresque home worlds, their once bustling cities now deserted, their skies filled with the ominous glow of impending doom. "You think this is a trick, an illusion," Baelish continued, his voice growing colder. "But I assure you, the destruction you see is very real. And it will continue until justice is served." The room erupted into chaos as the implications of Baelish's words sank in. Delegates from various species began receiving notifications on their personal devices, confirming the destruction of the Fresque systems. Gasps of horror and cries of disbelief filled the hall. The Fresque delegation, now in complete disarray, could do little more than watch helplessly as their empire crumbled before their eyes. Baelish allowed the commotion to continue for a few moments before snapping his fingers once more, bringing the room back to silence. "This is not merely about vengeance," he said, his voice now tinged with a hint of sorrow. "This is about ensuring that no other species suffers as we have. That no other race has to endure the terror and the loss that we have faced at the hands of the Fresque." He then outlined a series of demands aimed at reforming the Galactic Council's approach to interstellar conflict and justice. These included the establishment of a war crimes tribunal to hold aggressors accountable, the implementation of stringent policies to prevent unprovoked attacks, and the creation of a coalition to enforce these new regulations. The Council, now acutely aware of the humans' capabilities and resolve, had little choice but to listen and agree. The Fresque representatives, their bravado shattered, attempted to negotiate, but their pleas fell on deaf ears. The council, recognizing the gravity of the situation, moved swiftly to endorse the humans' proposals. The Fresk were ordered to cease all hostilities immediately, to withdraw from any occupied territories, and to provide reparations for the damages inflicted. Failure to comply would result in further destruction, a threat now undeniably real. Baelish's demands did not stop at mere punishment for the Fresk. He called for a new era of cooperation and mutual respect among all species. Let this be a lesson, he urged the council, that strength should be tempered with justice, and that peace should be our ultimate goal. We stand here today not just as humans, but as members of the galactic community, committed to a future where no race lives in fear. The Great Hall was now a place of profound silence, the weight of the moment settling over the delegates like a shroud. The human representative had not only demonstrated their capacity for unparalleled destruction, but had also outlined a vision for a more just and peaceful galaxy. The stark contrast between the humans' demand for accountability and their call for unity left an indelible mark on the council members. As the meeting adjourned, the representatives filed out in contemplative silence, their views on humanity irrevocably altered. The Fresk, once the most feared aggressors in the galaxy, had been brought to their knees by a race they had once considered weak and inconsequential. The humans, through their calculated demonstration of power and unwavering demand for justice, had reshaped the political landscape of the galactic community. In the days that followed, the Council enacted the reforms proposed by Admiral Baelish. A war crimes tribunal was established, and the first cases brought before it were those against the Fresk leadership. Reparations were ordered, and the process of rebuilding human colonies began with the aid of newly formed alliances. The Fresk, now a shadow of their former selves, faced the consequences of their actions, their empire in ruins and their future uncertain. The story of the Great Hall meeting spread throughout the galaxy, becoming a legend that would be told for generations. It served as a reminder of the humans' journey from underestimated newcomers to powerful architects of galactic order. The snap of a finger, once a simple gesture, had become a symbol of human resilience and justice. The humans had not only survived, but had also forged a new path forward, one that promised a more balanced and equitable future for all species. In summary, the demands and destruction presented by Admiral Baelish during the Great Hall meeting marked a decisive moment in galactic history. The humans' demonstration of power and their unwavering resolve to seek justice transformed their status within the galactic community. Their ability to balance retribution with a vision for a more just and peaceful galaxy left an enduring legacy, reshaping interstellar relations and setting a new standard for accountability and cooperation. This chapter in human history is a testament to their resilience, ingenuity, and commitment to forging a better future for all. The reaction of the Galactic Council to the humans' demands and the shocking display of their destructive capabilities was one of profound transformation. The Great Hall, once a place of grandstanding and political maneuvering, had become a crucible where the very foundations of interstellar diplomacy were being reforged. The humans, through Admiral Austin Baelish, had demonstrated a level of technological and strategic superiority that left the Council members with no choice but to reconsider their positions and policies. As the echoes of the supernovae-induced destructions still resonated within the Council chamber, the atmosphere was charged with a mix of fear, respect, and an urgent need for action. The Fresk, who had long been a dominant and aggressive force within the galactic community, found themselves at the mercy of the humans. Their representatives, who had arrived with an air of arrogance, now sat in stunned silence, grappling with the reality of their crumbling empire. The Fresk's confident facade had been shattered, replaced by a desperate scramble to salvage what remained of their power and influence. For other council members, the humans' unprecedented show of force was a stark reminder of the potential consequences of unchecked aggression, and the importance of alliances and diplomacy. Species that had previously viewed humans as inconsequential or merely a minor annoyance now saw them in a new light. The humans' technological leap and their willingness to use it as a deterrent made it clear that they were a force to be reckoned with. The initial reaction of the Council was a mix of shock and awe. Delegates from various species whispered among themselves, their discussions tinged with a sense of urgency and trepidation. The realization that the humans could trigger supernovae at will, destroying entire star systems with a mere snap of the fingers, introduced a new and terrifying dimension to galactic warfare. The implications of such power were profound, and the Council members knew that immediate action was necessary to prevent further escalation. In the days following the Great Hall meeting, the Council convened in emergency sessions to address the demands put forth by Admiral Baelish. The humans had called for accountability, justice, and a restructuring of galactic policies to ensure that no species could perpetrate the kind of aggression and atrocities committed by the Fresk without facing severe repercussions. The Council's first order of business was to establish a war crimes tribunal to investigate and prosecute those responsible for the Fresk's attacks on human colonies and the destruction of their medical fleet. The establishment of the tribunal was met with widespread support, driven by a newfound understanding of the need for accountability. The tribunal was tasked with conducting thorough investigations, gathering evidence, and holding public trials to ensure transparency and justice. This move was seen as a critical step in restoring trust and stability within the galactic community. The Fresk, who had previously operated with impunity, now faced the possibility of severe consequences for their actions. The tribunal's proceedings were closely watched by the entire galaxy. The evidence presented was damning, detailing the systematic and brutal nature of the Fresk's attacks on human colonies. Testimonies from survivors, combined with irrefutable technological evidence, painted a grim picture of the Fresk's campaign of terror. The tribunal's judges, representing a diverse array of species, delivered their verdicts swiftly, condemning the Fresk leadership for their war crimes and ordering reparations to the affected human colonies. Beyond the tribunal, the Council also moved to implement broader reforms aimed at preventing future conflicts. These reforms included the establishment of a coalition tasked with monitoring and enforcing interstellar peace agreements, a significant increase in funding for diplomatic initiatives, and the creation of rapid response teams to address emerging threats. The coalition, composed of representatives from multiple species, was designed to act as a deterrent against aggression, and a mechanism for swift intervention in case of any violations. The Council's reaction extended beyond mere policy changes. There was a palpable shift in the way members interacted with one another. The humans' demonstration of power had underscored the importance of mutual respect and cooperation. Species that had previously harbored rivalries or engaged in territorial disputes began to seek diplomatic solutions, recognizing the futility of conflict in the face of such overwhelming technological capabilities. The spirit of unity and collective security became more pronounced, fostering a renewed commitment to peace and stability. For the humans, the Council's reaction was both a validation of their struggles and a significant step towards establishing their place within the galactic community. The swift and decisive actions taken by the Council reinforced the idea that their sacrifices and efforts had not been in vain. The humans' ability to balance their demand for justice with a vision for a more equitable and cooperative future resonated deeply within the Council, earning them newfound respect and admiration. Admiral Baelish's role in this transformation was pivotal. His leadership during the Great Hall meeting, and subsequent negotiations, showcased not only his tactical brilliance but also his ability to navigate the complex landscape of interstellar politics. Baelish's vision for a balanced and just galaxy, where strength was tempered with responsibility, became a guiding principle for the Council's reforms. His emphasis on accountability and cooperation set a new standard for how conflicts should be resolved, and how power should be wielded. The Fresk, facing the consequences of their actions, experienced a profound internal upheaval. The collapse of their empire and the trials of their leaders forced them to reevaluate their approach to interstellar relations. For the first time, they were compelled to engage in genuine diplomatic efforts, seeking to rebuild their standing through cooperation rather than conquest. This shift was not easy, but it was necessary for their survival in a galaxy that had changed irrevocably. In the broader context, the Council's reaction to the humans' demands and the Fresque's aggression marked a turning point in the history of the galactic community. It demonstrated that no species, regardless of their power or aggression, could act with impunity. The establishment of new policies and coalitions aimed at fostering peace and cooperation laid the groundwork for a more stable and just galaxy. In summary, the Council's reaction to the events of the Great Hall meeting was characterized by swift and decisive action to address the humans' demands and prevent future conflicts. The establishment of a war crimes tribunal, the implementation of broad reforms, and the shift towards greater cooperation and mutual respect marked a significant transformation in interstellar relations. The humans, through their resilience and vision, had not only secured justice for themselves but had also helped to forge a new era of accountability and unity within the galactic community. This chapter in their history is a testament to the power of determination, innovation, and the pursuit of a just and equitable future. The final resolution of the conflict between the humans and the Fresque was a landmark event that reshaped the galactic community and established a new paradigm for interstellar relations. The aftermath of the Great Hall meeting, where Admiral Austin Baelish had so decisively demonstrated human power, was a period of profound change, not only for the humans and Fresque but for the entire galaxy. This period saw the culmination of humanity's struggle for survival and justice, transforming them from a perceived underdog into a respected and influential force within the galactic community. In the immediate wake of the Council's decision to hold the Fresque accountable, the Tribunal for War Crimes began its work in earnest. The proceedings were highly publicized, serving as both a warning and a lesson to all species about the consequences of unchecked aggression. The evidence against the Fresque was overwhelming. Detailed records of their attacks on human colonies, the destruction of the medical fleet, and testimonies from survivors painted a harrowing picture of their campaign of terror. The tribunal, composed of representatives from various species known for their impartiality, delivered its verdicts with a clarity and decisiveness that left no room for doubt. The Fresque leadership was found guilty of numerous war crimes, including genocide, and was sentenced to long terms of imprisonment. Reparations were mandated, requiring the Fresque to transfer resources and technology to help rebuild the devastated human colonies. This act of justice was not merely punitive but also aimed at fostering a sense of accountability and responsibility within the galactic community. For the Fresque, the tribunal's decisions were a bitter pill to swallow. Their once mighty empire had been brought low, their leaders disgraced and imprisoned. The reparations they were forced to pay strained their resources, compelling them to re-evaluate their approach to interstellar relations. This period of reckoning led to significant internal changes within Fresque society. They began to shift from a focus on military conquest to one of rebuilding and diplomacy. It was a painful transformation, but one that was necessary for their survival in a galaxy that no longer tolerated their previous aggressions. Humanity, meanwhile, entered a phase of reconstruction and consolidation. The reparations from the Fresque provided much-needed resources to rebuild their colonies and bolster their defenses. The humans also received widespread support from other species, many of whom had been inspired by their resilience and determination. This support took various forms, from technological exchanges to military alliances, all aimed at ensuring that humanity would never again face such isolation and vulnerability. The technological advancements that humans had developed during their period of seclusion continued to play a crucial role in their resurgence. Their expertise in cloaking technology and their ability to trigger supernovae served as powerful deterrents against any future threats. However, the humans were careful to use these technologies judiciously, emphasizing their commitment to peace and stability rather than domination. This approach helped to cement their reputation as a responsible and just power within the galactic community. One of the most significant outcomes of this period was the establishment of the Coalition for Galactic Peace, CGP. This new organization, proposed by Admiral Baelish and swiftly ratified by the Council, aimed to promote cooperation, prevent conflicts, and ensure that justice was upheld across the galaxy. The CGP brought together representatives from various species, creating a platform for dialogue and collaboration. It also included rapid response teams equipped to intervene in emerging conflicts, providing a much-needed mechanism for maintaining peace. The CGP's first major test came sooner than expected. A minor border dispute between two lesser-known species threatened to escalate into a full-scale war. The CGP, leveraging its newly formed rapid response teams and diplomatic channels, intervened swiftly. The dispute was resolved through mediation, with both parties agreeing to a fair and peaceful settlement. This success demonstrated the effectiveness of the CGP, and reinforced the importance of having a dedicated body to manage interstellar relations. Admiral Baelish, now a prominent figure in galactic politics, continued to play a key role in shaping the future of the galactic community. His leadership and vision had been instrumental in navigating humanity through its darkest times and into an era of respect and influence. Baelish's emphasis on accountability, justice, and cooperation became guiding principles for the CGP and the Council at large. His speeches, often invoking the lessons learned from the human-Fresk conflict, were influential in promoting a culture of mutual respect and peaceful coexistence. As the years passed, the galaxy witnessed a gradual but steady transformation. The principles and policies established during this period became the foundation for a more stable and cooperative interstellar society. Former rivals began to forge alliances, sharing resources and knowledge to tackle common challenges such as resource scarcity, environmental degradation, and the threat of rogue entities. The spirit of collaboration extended to scientific endeavors as well, with joint research projects leading to breakthroughs in medicine, energy, and space exploration. For humanity, this era was marked by both healing and growth. The scars of the Fresk aggression remained, but they served as powerful reminders of their journey and the resilience that had seen them through. The rebuilt colonies thrived, bolstered by new technologies and a renewed sense of purpose. The human population, now more united than ever, embraced their role as stewards of peace and justice in the galaxy. Their influence within the Council grew, not through coercion or fear, but through the respect and trust they had earned. The Fresk, under the weight of their losses and the need to pay reparations, underwent significant societal changes. They adopted a more conciliatory approach to their neighbors, focusing on rebuilding their economy and infrastructure. Diplomatic efforts were intensified, and the Fresk began to participate more constructively in the Council's initiatives. While the transition was challenging, it ultimately led to a more balanced and peaceful existence for the Fresk people. In the broader context, the final resolution of the human-Fresk conflict set a precedent for how the galactic community would handle future crises. The combination of accountability, reparations, and a commitment to cooperative rebuilding proved to be an effective model for conflict resolution. The lessons learned during this period were codified into the CGP's charter, ensuring that future generations would benefit from the hard-won wisdom of their predecessors. In summary, the final resolution of the conflict between humans and the Fresk was a transformative period that reshaped the galactic community. The establishment of a war crimes tribunal, the formation of the Coalition for Galactic Peace, and the internal changes within both human and Fresk societies marked the dawn of a new era of accountability, cooperation, and mutual respect. This chapter in galactic history stands as a testament to the power of resilience, justice, and the enduring pursuit of a better future for all species. The legacy of Admiral Baelish, and the events that unfolded in the Great Hall continue to inspire and guide the galactic community towards a more harmonious and prosperous existence.